thank you so much for having me. I'm really honored you would have me here today and that you would pick me to come. This is when you read the list of the people who have been asked to come here in the past, it truly blows you away that I would be asked to do this. And I'm just truly grateful for this opportunity to talk for a few moments with you and with the young people behind me about the future of this country and what it means to all of us. And I appreciate that deeply. I also congratulate you at the University of Louisville on your success in basketball. Of course, the University of Florida, University of Miami, Florida Gulf Coast are still alive. Florida Gulf Coast has to play the University of Florida later this week. All good things must come to an end. And, so anyway, I actually had Louisville and Florida playing in the finals. And by then I'll be safely home and I can tell you who I'm rooting for. But in the meantime,
being from a small town, I have never had opportunities like this, so it's wonderful to come to such a great university and have these amazing opportunities that I would never get to have otherwise. And it makes me truly appreciate, especially talking to the senator, the government that we have here and what a great country we live in.
One of the things that I believe with all my heart is that we live in a truly unique country. And I know I'm supposed to say that because I'm in politics. I know we're supposed to believe that because we're Americans. But I want you to stop for a moment and just analyze what I've just said, because history bears it out. In the history of man, in the whole history of humanity, think about this. Virtually every single person that has ever lived has been trapped in the circumstances of their birth. In the history of mankind, almost everyone who has ever walked this planet, their future was decided before they were even born. In essence, whatever their parents did for a living, that's what they would get to do. They often lived in the same land generation after generations, doing the same jobs as their parents did. They also had very little choice in who their leaders were. Their leaders were whoever conquered them, or whoever was the son or daughter of the leader before them. In essence, the same people always were on top and everybody else was on the bottom looking up, with no hope of ever improving their lives. This is the condition of man throughout all of human history, with rare and few exceptions. Where that truly began to change was about 2 centuries ago here, when in this nation that we now know as America, and at the time was still a colony, there was this idea that somehow every single human being has rights whose source is not the government or even the circumstances of your birth. We have rights that are natural to us, that come from our Creator. And therefore, every single person should have the opportunity to go as far as their talent and their work ethic will take them.
It was a great speech, great time. I definitely loved his speech, connected to me. I'm also a son of immigrants from this country, and seeing somebody like him, you see the future, you see the possibilities in this country. All the previous guests are great, but he's definitely the definition of the future.
Well, one of the interesting things about meeting the political leaders is almost a mythos with our political culture. So they just seem like abstract figures. But the way he talked about it, it was just his personal life. Like, he liked hip hop and he had a certain family background, and that compelled him into a life of service. And he even spoke how we asked him about the presidency and like, is he really looking towards that? And he didn't answer the stock like, I'll have to make certain points, but he spoke how if I feel compelled by service to run for the presidency, if I think I'll bring something new, then I'll run. And it was a very principle-oriented, very dynamic answer that we haven't always seen.
If we just give the young men and women here today and seated behind me a chance, if we just give them the kind of country that our parents and our grandparents left for us, they will do what Americans have always done. They will create prosperity for themselves, for their families, for their fellow Americans, and they will do what Americans have always done. They will change the world. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be with you.